To come to our own country, John, it seems to me that many citizens have been, if you like, punished through the process and sometimes actually lost cases at court for saying things that are absolutely of almost no consequence beside the vile speech we've heard, frankly, from some Muslim pulpits in Australia about the Jewish people and the chanting on the streets. If that's not hate speech, nothing is. What's more, it seems to me it's very hard to avoid the conclusion that it's meant to incite violence, but the laws proved absolutely, hopelessly inadequate to the task of defending the Jewish people from anti-Semitism in Australia.
It's not the laws that have been found wanting in combating anti-Semitic speech that we've seen in Australia, particularly from Muslim pulpits. It is the willpower of the police and the prosecutors to actually enforce the laws that we already have on the books. But the real scary thing is that in response to this anti-Semitism, our government has passed new hate speech laws which have dismantled many of the protections that we have for ordinary, reasonable speech. They say never waste a good crisis. And what's happened in the recent session of Parliament is the rushing through of some hate speech laws which go far beyond addressing anti-Semitism and which are going to be a real problem for people who are trying to speak up against some of the pervasive ideologies of our times. And so by doing that and by dismantling the protections that we had in our hate speech laws, I'm confident we're going to see what we've been seeing in Europe under their hate speech laws, which is that the police are now able to come to your door and say, we need to talk to you about your thoughts. We need to talk to you about what you've been posting on the internet. This could land you up to 7 years in prison. And these are not laws that are going to uphold the ability of Australians to speak and live the truth.
That in itself is truly chilling. But if I understand you correctly, you're saying that we had laws that could have been used but were not. Prosecutors and police somehow or other unwilling, reluctant to act?
Correct. We have asymmetrical application of these laws all the time. Quite prominent in our news just recently was 2 nurses at a Sydney hospital who were on a social media app boasting about the fact that they kill Jewish patients. This made the news everywhere around the world.
Everywhere around the world. Everyone's heard it.
Now,
well done.
2, 3, 4 days later, the Chief of Police in New South Wales, when asked, are you going to arrest these 2 nurses? Are you going to enforce these hate speech laws? Said, we are still waiting to collate information on this case. No action is being taken. They're being very cautious. Contrast that with identitarian politics. There was an AFL football game in Australia where one of the Indigenous players claimed that this 12-year-old had called him a monkey or had made a racial slur from the audience, from the crowd. The police had that person arrested and taken in for questioning within 2 hours of that report being made. And yet, contrast that with the most vile expressions of actual violence towards Jews. You see the asymmetrical application of these laws depending on the ideological popularity of the cause. It's very concerning.